Hello and welcome back to OTH Newsmakers. I am Kelsey Boudin, the City Editor of the Olean Times-Herald. Today we're continuing our coverage of the local elections here in Olean. There will be elections in wards 1, 3, and 5, and today I have with us John Crawford, who is running on the Independents, Democratic, and Conservative lines in Ward 5. So thank you for being with us. I really appreciate it. And just kind of want to go into, you've described to me paying it forward for Olean. Olean's always been good to you, so how do you intend on doing that?
Well, thanks for inviting me, Kelsey. It's a real pleasure to be here. Well, just to give a little brief background on myself, I'm an Olean boy, born and raised, and now it's my turn, and I married my high school sweetheart, and we've started our family, and there was only one place for us to raise our children, and that's in Olean, New York, and so this is a great opportunity for me to really, what I call pay it forward, to get involved in the city of Olean and the city council and try to make a difference, to help Olean turn a corner going forward.
Mm-hmm. You worked for Dresser Rand for 6 years, and if you could just maybe describe your financial expertise there, that's where you worked, and building budgets and things like that, and that's obviously a key part of the job. So.
Yeah, absolutely. I did my studies at St. Bonaventure and did my undergraduate and graduate degree there. And in my graduate degree, kind of focused on accounting and finance, and that's really where I wanted to hone my specialty. So I worked for Dresser Rand for about six and a half years. And at Dresser Rand, I was able to achieve experience doing everything from helping to build multi-million-dollar departmental budgets and do expense analysis, and again, departmental analysis, headcount, things like that. And they even moved us down to Houston, Texas, which was a complete culture shock for us. And when we wanted to start a family, it was one place for us, and it was to come back to Olean. And the last couple of years at Dresser Rand, that I worked there, I was able to act as a project controller, helping to control costs. And you're talking about costs on hundreds of millions of dollars worth of projects, as well as schedule control. So that's kind of a unique corporate level financial experience that I've incurred in my past. And then I got an opportunity that I couldn't pass up to go and do my dream job at the University of Pittsburgh at Bradford, where I'm now an assistant professor of finance.
Sure. And you've said that you bring kind of a fresh perspective here. Maybe what are some things that will be fresh, some things that are on the agenda here that you hope to tackle?
Well, I mean, first and foremost is I want to be an active, energetic, well-known member to my communities, to Ward 5. So I want to be able to put their concerns, their frustrations, their issues front and center on the city council. And I've spent the last 2 months interacting and going door to door and getting to know these people and becoming vested in their best interests. And so that's kind of, number one is representing Ward 5. The larger perspective certainly is helping Olean turn a corner. And I appreciate and like the decisions that they've done to help beautify the city. But I feel that we really need to focus on helping to create an identity for Olean. And I think, using my strategic management experience as well as my financial experience will help them do that, to hone in, create an identity for Olean going forward, and to help shape kind of their strategic outlook, their strategic mission, I guess, if you want to call it that, for the next 10, 15, 20 years.
Mm-hmm. You're describing Olean, painting a picture of Olean as kind of at a crossroads, turning that corner. So where do you see when we turn that corner? Where do you see us a year out, 5 years, 10 years down the road? Where would you like to see us?
Well, what I kind of draw this comparison is that a city should be operated similarly to the way a corporation is. But hopefully with a little bit more personal, a little more caring gloves, I guess, if you want to call it that, right? So what I would like to see is take little steps, and in the next year, I would like to see that the city of Olean meet some of the concerns of the residents that I've spoken with in Ward 5. I think some low-hanging fruit there would be to eliminate the cost of the permit fees. I've talked to a lot of different individuals in Ward 5 who are interested in putting in a new sidewalk or a front porch or putting on a new roof, things like that. But they're upset by the fact that they've got to pay a $35 fee or a $50 fee to improve the overall aesthetics of their property. And again, I think that's low-hanging fruit that I can't imagine is adding a very material bottom line to the revenues of the city. So that's taking one step forward and something that's able to be accomplished in the next year. But longer term, I'm really looking at trying again to create a tourist destination for Olean and honing in on the natural surroundings and the natural presence that we have all around us. And I don't want to use Ellicottville. I'm not picking on Ellicottville, but I'm going to because they're a great example of who hones into their surroundings, and they're doing a good job with developing the riverfront activities. But I would like to see them do more of creating hiking trails and biking trails and the possibility for zip lines or an adventure park, things like that, again, to help bring people into Olean. And I would say the largest case scenario, the largest focus really needs to be on A, maintaining the manufacturing we have here in the city of Olean, and B, going out and helping to either recruit new manufacturing to come into the city or to, through the efforts of startup of small businesses, again, the goal there should be to provide people with livable wages. And there's a big difference between the average wage that someone in the service sector industry can make and someone in a manufacturing or industrial sector. And by adding and focusing solely on service-based jobs, you're creating a larger and larger rental base in the city of Olean. And we all know there's a supply and demand situation with the housing here in the city of Olean, and we have too much supply. Well, that's because we don't have jobs that are enabling people to go out and buy homes, or we don't have programs for low-income people to go out and buy homes and be able to pay the taxes in the city. So really, again, this is kind of a strategic long-term growth that you need to, it doesn't happen overnight, right? We haven't found ourselves in this position overnight. So it's not going to happen overnight.
As Paul said, benefiting the kids 5-10 years down the road type thing.
Absolutely. That's my major motivating factor is, what motivates me is, yes, I have a love for Olean. I want to pay it forward. But I've got 2 small children, and I want them to have the opportunity in the situation to grow up in a clean, safe environment, the same one that I grew up in. And Olean treated me pretty all right, and I've got great opportunities. And I would love to see my children get those same opportunities going forward.
Sure. I think that should do it. We invite you to keep up in the coming weeks with our election coverage in our print edition and at www.oleantimesherald.com. Follow us on Facebook and on Twitter. And thank you, Mr. Crawford, for joining us. I really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. I appreciate it.